Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this SQL tutorial part 2 video, I'm going to be going through the if statement, case statement, update, replace, insert into, delete, and all the aggregated functions like sum, average, count, min, and max. If you haven't watched part 1 SQL tutorial, I highly recommend that you should watch that first because I explain how to set your environment up, create new database, take the data from my GitHub repository, put it into SQL, and then start writing queries on them. If you don't want to watch part 1, then I'm going to have a link in the description where you can go to my GitHub repository and just download the data I'm going to be using for this tutorial. So that works too. Right, so let's just jump into it. So if statements. So what we want to do, so I'm just going to copy this opportunities data table that we are using before. I want to select everything from this table, let's say, so this example, and I want to add a condition which basically is going to be saying if the product category equals services, then I want to change it to services and marketing. Otherwise, I want to keep the column as it is. So I don't want to create a new column basically. So our first example, so this is example 1. We're going to have one condition, which is basically one if condition, same column name. So basically, we don't want to create a new column. So what I can do is that I need to now, if I want to add an if statement, I need to specify all column names. I could either put comma here and add the if statement after selecting everything, but that means I'm going to be creating a new column, which I don't want that. So I'm just going to quickly copy and paste all the column names because it's going to take me some time and I'm going to waste your time typing it in. And I want to say, so these two queries, they do exactly the same thing, by the way. They select exactly the same data. But now I want to add a condition in product category, which says if, if, by the way, if in SQL is spelled with double I don't know why, don't ask me. Comma, I want to say if product category equals services. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it. Then now I need to specify the value I want to see if the product category is services. So if the first condition is true, I want to change it to services. Oh, what am I doing? Services and marketing. Otherwise, if it's not services, I want to keep the product category as it is. So I can just copy this column and put it here. Then I can close my whole condition, so the whole if statement. Now I need to give it a name. So this is where I can keep exactly the same columns, just say as, and I'm going to keep exactly the same column names, product category, then comma, and then I continue with the rest of the columns. So if I run this now again, we can see that where we had before services, now it became services and marketing. So if I run both together, so we can see on the first table that we haven't run the if condition, is still services, but on the second table, it changed services to services and marketing whenever the product category was services. Something else now which is worth saying is that this query that we just wrote, it doesn't really update the existing table, it just selects the table with this if condition. If we want to change the existing table from the source, as it is, we're going to have to use an update statement and then run this if statement here, which I'm going to show you later on how to do it. Right, so the second example now I want to show in if statement, which is going to be example 2, is when we want to write an if statement with multiple if statements and creating a new column. So I'm just going to say multiple if statements with a new column. Right, so I am just going to copy this here, paste it down here, put a comma after all, and I'm going to write my if statement. So my if statement is basically going to be, let me just select everything. I want to create a new column here at the end, which is going to be saying if the new opportunity name starts with phase 5, then map this new column as phase 5. So basically create a new column which is going to be the opportunity phase, and it's only going to have the phase of the opportunity. It's not going to have the whole name. So the way to do this is say if the new opportunity name, so new opportunity name, like, we've shown how to do the like function. If you haven't watched the video part 1, you should go and watch it to see how like works. And then I'm going to say if it's like phase 1, comma, then I want to map this as phase 1. Otherwise, if it's not phase 1, so here is where we specify the product category here on the first if statement, on the first example. However, now I want to open a new if statement, so I'm just going to copy the whole if statement, paste it below, and say if it doesn't meet the first condition, then move on to another if statement, which I'm going to have a different condition. I'm going to have phase 2 now, and it goes on phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, and this is how we have multiple if statements. And yeah, this is how we have multiple if statements for multiple conditions. Let me put this as 3, this is 4, this is 5. Here is where I'm going to say if it's not phase 5, I'm going to say it needs mapping. And then I'm going to close the brackets. So see, if I close one bracket, it closes the first if statement. If I close another one, it closes the second. You can see now which bracket corresponds to which if statement. So the last one, which is this one, corresponds to the first one. Now I need to name this new column as, I'm going to name it as opportunity phase from my table, which is here, and then just run this whole statement, which I get an error, which is invalid new opportunity name, new opportunity. Okay, spelling issue. I'm a master in spelling mistakes. Right. So what we see here is that this first line, it has phase 5 gross shareholders value, and in this ops phase now, we just took the phase, so it's just phase 5. The next one is phase 7. We need to map this because we have another condition around phase 7. Same thing with phase 6. If I want to select everything from this query that needs mapping, what I can do is that I can add brackets around my table, so before and after. I can name this query, so around my query, I can name this query as A, then I can push it in using this increase indent. What is it? Yeah, indent. Don't know what it means, but it pushes the data inside. And I can say select all from this A. So instead of putting a table name after from, I put this query in brackets and I name it as A, and it's going to work exactly as the table. So now I've selected everything from A, and now because it treats this whole query as, let's say, a table, I can add a where clause and say where opportunity phase here equals, and I can say it needs mapping. And now we're going to have all the rows that need mapping, that their opportunity phase equals needs mapping. So the reason I'm showing you this is because sometimes it's not obvious if you have used all the conditions you should. Sometimes, because now it's quite obvious that we just missed 6 and 7, but sometimes you think that you've mapped all the conditions or all the data, but the reality is that you've skipped some of the data, and because it's big, you don't know which ones you've skipped. So with this way, this approach, you can actually select everything that you have missed. Right, so I've shown you how to do the if statement now. Now we're going to show the case statement. So example 1, and it's case statement with, again, one condition. I'm going to use exactly the same data and exactly the same queries we've used for the if statement, but I'm just going to replace the if statement with the case statement, and I'm going to explain you why we use case statement sometimes and why we use, if statement. So I want to delete all this, and I want to put some space, and I want to say case. I open, so each time you put case, you don't open brackets actually, you click enter. Yeah, come on. And I want to say when the product category equals services, then I want to map it as services and market. So this is in if we put comma, in case we put then, it's the same thing. Now, instead of saying comma product category, which we've done in the if statement, we need to say else. So if it doesn't meet the first condition, else use product category as it is. Then you need to end the case statement, so end, and put as, and then the column name, which is the product category, exactly the same way as we have here as product category. And then if I run this whole statement now, it does exactly the same thing as we've done with the if statement, but now we use a case instead. So it returns 4,133 rows, so 4,133, and this if statement returns 4,133 rows, exactly the same way. So now I'm going to show you the case statement with creating a new column, so the same rules as we've done here. So this is example 2, this is case with multiple conditions, let's say conditions. Okay, right, so we want to say select all from our table name, which is the opportunity data. Oops, put it, come on, here. I want to put a comma with some space and say case, enter, when. I want to say when the opportunity name, which is a new opportunity name, like phase 1, so I'm literally going to copy the whole thing here. Then I want to map it as phase 1. It's as simple as that, phase 1. And now I'm going to repeat this process. So in the case statements, you don't have to put comma as you put in if. You just going to keep, you have to keep saying when, and when. So when, come on, when, without any commas. I need one more. When, and I need to say phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5. I want to do the same here. So this is phase 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I want to say else, exactly as we've done up here, else. I want to say it needs mapping, so exactly the same one as we've done here. We don't have any brackets to close now. We just want to say end, and we want to give it a name as, and we'll name it, we will name it exactly the same column name as before, opportunity phase. So copy, paste, and now if I run this query, I have exactly the same data as I had on this query, but instead of using if, I'm using case. The only difference now around the case statement, I know, first of all, is just some people prefer using if statements, some people prefer using case statement. Usually it's a case of which one you've learned first, and then that's the one you apply. But the difference I personally found is that if statements, you can only repeat this process 9 times, and then it throws you an error, or 10 times, I'm not entirely sure, but there is a limit. However, with case statements, there is no limit. You can add a case when and then as many times as you want. So this is the main difference as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there is any performance difference. I think up to 10 if or case statements, I think they work exactly the same. I don't know if there is when you use more bigger data. I don't know if there is a performance issue there. But all I know is that they do the same thing. So both of them are very useful to know. Right. If you feel that you're getting value, by the way, out of this, please click that like and subscribe button. So it's going to help me with the YouTube algorithm. Cool. So the next thing we want to show now is going to be the update, replace, insert, and delete. So let me copy the title, paste it down here. Right, for this section now, we're going to be using the account lookup table. So I'm just going to copy it and select all, actually select all from this column, this table. Right, so the first example we want to give, so example 1 is going to be, let's say we want to rename a column now. So let's say where the sector equals, what do I have there, capital markets. I want to rename it to, so here is capital markets and security. I just want to rename this to capital markets. So a quick way of doing it is that I can say, so let's just put renaming a column. I can say select all from my account lookup, and then add this if condition, which we've learned already how to do this if statement, that says if sector equals capital markets and securities, comma, rename it to just capital markets without the securities, copy, paste. Otherwise, keep it as it is, keep sector as it is, so do nothing basically, as, and then this is going to be sector 2, because I haven't changed the existing one is in all. Now I'm creating a new column. If I run this now, we can see that where we have capital markets and securities, it renamed the column to capital markets. However, it did not really update the account lookup, because if I run the first query, which is just the account lookup, I can see that in the first query, capital markets, let's find one, is still capital markets and security. It didn't change to capital markets only, which is the case down here. So now we need to use the update statement. So we need to update the account, the table as it is. So we need to say update, and then we put the table name, and then I click enter. Here I want to say set, so we want to set the sector equals, and now all I need to do is copy this if statement that I've created already, which is basically saying that paste it here, and this is basically saying set the sector equal to this if statement here. So if I run this update now, it says that 1,145 rows were affected. And if I run the account lookup table as it is now and scroll down to sector, I can find capital markets without the securities, the slash securities. So this is how we can use update to update the table. To update the table basically, and not just running the if statement every time. So now I can just run the whole table as it is, and this if statement has worked, is within the table now, so it updated the whole table. Another way of doing this is using replace. So let me just show you how to use replace. So this is going to be example 2, which is replace. Right, so let's say that we have here in account segment, each time we see a PS, which means public sector, we want to rename this, to change it every time there is PS anywhere, not just the beginning, not just the whole column. We want to rename it to public sector. So the way to do this is put a comma here and just say replace, open brackets. Then we need to specify the column that we want to replace the value in it. So this is going to be account segment. So account segment, comma. Now what we want to replace, so here I want to replace everywhere that has PS with public sector. Let me just check if we don't have PS in between any other words, because that's going to be a problem. I don't see any for the moment. Let's say the public sector, and then we close it, and then we need to give it a name. I'm just going to name it as segment 2 because the segment, this column exists already in the all here in the asterisk. And just say from, and then let's run this. So what we see here, we have see priority public sector here in the asterisk column, and then in the new column, account segment at the end, let's name it account segment 2 actually. So there are 2 different columns. We see priority public sector. So it basically replaces the where is it? The PS with the public sector. So now, if we want to update the table now, we need to follow the same process as here. So we need to say update table, update the name of the table, and we want to set the the account segment to be equals, and I'm just going to copy and paste this replace statement we wrote here. So you understand the methodology now, and the idea is that first you run it on a query at the top to test it and see if it works, everything went fine, and then you update the table, the source. I always recommend to not touch the existing source tables. It's best if you keep the data as it is and then create a new table that has all the data, then run the updates on that table, test it, and then update the source. It's not best practice to be updating the source table, because then there is no way back, or then you're gonna have to ask the database manager to go and recover the table from yesterday, which is gonna take some time, and he's gonna be very annoyed. Right, so example 3 now is gonna be the insert into. So insert into. So now, what insert into does is basically if I want to insert a new record in this table, I can specify all the columns and the data, the values that each column is going to have, and then create a new line in this table, create a new entry. Usually you're not going to be running this insert intos because maybe on some lookups, but nowadays usually data flows in the database from different data sources. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to show you how to do it. So the way to do this, insert in, maybe we have, let's assume we have a new account, which this account has some information. So the information for this account is, let's say this number for account number. I'm just going to say random things. Then the name of the account is going to be new name. So I'm just going to new account name. The industry of the account is going to be test industry. I'm just putting dummy data now. Let's say the sector. I want to keep these values as null. So if I put null, it's going to fit sector as null. Then account segment, I want to keep it as null again. Then account manager alias, I want to keep it as null. Then the segment manager again null, and then the industry manager, I'm just going to say Yannis, my name. Right, so the way to put this new data now into this table, you can say select. Does it select this data? Let me see if it selects the data. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, first time I see this. You can see that it doesn't have any column names. I'm just selecting some random data. And literally all I have to do is just say insert into, and then put the name of the table you want to insert the values in. You want to make sure that you have exactly the same number of columns. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I have less, let me just remove the Yannis, comment it out, and I try to run this, I'm going to get an error. You see, because it says the column name or number of supplied values does not match the table definition. The table definition has 8 columns, and I'm giving him 7 columns. So it doesn't work. So if I have 8, I don't have to specify the column names. I can do if I want to. I can say as account number and blah, 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 but you don't have to. And then if I run this now, it says 1 row affected. So if I just select all from the account lookup where the what was it? Where the industry manager equals Yanis, I should see this new record now. So there we go. So you can see it took all the details we gave it and it inserted it into the table. So you get the idea now. So the same way we've inserted the data into the table, our next example is how we delete this data. Very easy, the easiest thing. So example 4, all deleting the data, deleting data. So all we have to do is say delete, sorry, not select, delete from, then put the table we want to delete from, and say where, and here is where I'm going to specify the industry manager equals Yanis. Or I can say where the new account number equals this account number, or I can say where the new account name equals this account name. And then if I run this, it should only affect one row. So it says one row affected. And now if I try and select everything again from the table where the industry name equals Yanis, sorry, the industry manager equals Yanis, it shouldn't return anything because I've just deleted the data. So as you can see, it returns an empty table. So the data doesn't exist anymore. So this is how we run delete statements. Again, I highly recommend you don't run any delete statements from the source table. Please check with the database manager or your manager before running any delete statements, because once you delete them from the table, then there's no going back. He's going to have to recover the table, the whole server, to recover the whole one table, because one mistake you've done. And this is a very common mistake that analysts do in their job. The amount of times that I've seen analysts deleting data accidentally and then having to ask the database manager to recover the server so many times. I've done it myself once, but yeah, anyway, just to avoid this mistake. Right, so the next thing we want to do now is that we want to click that like button if we feel that we're getting value out of this video, please. Right, so we're going to go to the main aggregated functions, which is going to be the sum, max, min, average, and count. So first one, example 1, is going to be the sum. And we will be using, again, the which table. Let's see. We want to use the opportunities data table again. So let's just run it to see the data we have. Right, so now the only values we can sum is the numbers. And the numbers, new account number is not the number we need to sum because it's an ID. The estimated completion month ID is a number, but it does not signify a number to aggregate. It's literally, it corresponds to a month ID in the calendar, which corresponds to a month. So the only numbers we could aggregate is the estimated opportunity value. Excuse me. So let's say we want to sum the estimated opportunity value by product category. So basically my outcome should be product category services has this much opportunity. Product category support has this much opportunity. So I need to sum the estimated opportunity value by product category. Right. So the way to do this, just going to leave it there. I need to select the column I want to aggregate by, which is the product category. Product category, comma, and now I want to sum. So I call sum, I open brackets, and I want to say estimated opportunity value, and then I close brackets. Sorry. Right. So this query now is not going to work. Let's just run it and see if it works. So it says column product category is invalid selection because it does not contain in either an aggregated function or a group by clause. So every time we run an aggregated function, we need to group by the data. So I need to say group by, and in group by we have to put all the columns that we are not aggregating. So if I had more than product category here, I should put all the columns that I'm not aggregating. But for now, just because I'm only aggregating by product category, I can add only product category there, and it still doesn't work. From select, oh, it's group by, sorry, not just group. Right, so now we can see product, and we don't have a name. We need a column name. So every time we're summing the data or we're aggregating the data, we need to say us, and then we need to give this column a name. I'm just going to keep it the same, or maybe I'm just going to say sum, just to specify that it's the sum of estimated opportunity value. And then if I rerun this, I can see now the opportunity value per product category. So I've aggregated the data by product category. If I want to add more conditions to it, so let's say I want to sum the opportunity by product category only for stage 5 opportunities. So I can say select all from, then I need to add the where, and I can add here opportunity stage. So opportunity stage equals, and I only want to use stage 4 or 5 or whatever. If I run this now, I can't see that it's just stage 5 because I haven't brought opportunity stage. But what I can see is that the values now are less. If I bring opportunity stage 2 next to opportunity category, and I try to run this, A is not going to work because opportunity stage should go in the aggregation too, so in the group by. Right, let's run this now. We can see it's all stage 4 because I've filtered out for stage 4. Another thing is that, let me just copy, this is example 1. Example 2, exactly the same thing, but let's say we don't want to have the where clause and we want to sum the data by 2 columns. So by product category and opportunity stage. So now it's created more rows now because it's summing the product by category first and then stage. So each category should have 5 stages. This is, yeah, exactly. So we can see for project, we have stage 1. I can order the data. Let's order the data. Order by, and I want to see it by product category and then opportunity stage. So it's going to order the data now in a way where we can read it. There we go. So for labor, it starts from 0 to 5. For project, it starts from 0 to 5, and then the sum, and then the services from 1. We don't have any 0. Oh no, we do from 0 to 5 again, and then for support 0 to 5. So as you can see now, we are summing, aggregating the data by both product category and opportunity stage. If I wanted to order the data from largest to smallest, so this is going to be example, sorry, let me copy this. Paste example 3. So here we have, sorry, 1 column. Here we're going to have 2 columns. And here we're going to have, let's say 2 columns. We're going to order by value. So if I want to order it I want to see the highest product category and stage in terms of value. So I want to order it by the highest value. I could say order by, and I can copy this sum of estimated opportunity value and paste it down here in the order by. Now the order is going to change. So now you can see that these are now mixed up, but it follows from the smallest to the largest. I need to say descending. So you can if you don't put descending, it's going to order it ascending. So from the smallest sum value to the highest. But if you put descending, it's going to start with the highest to the smallest. So now I've shown you how to order your data too. Right. So let's say now, instead of summing the data by opportunity stage, I want to see how many opportunities each product category has. So the way to do this, I'm just going to copy example 1, paste it down here. This is example 4 now, and this is count. and I'm going to have one column, so I only want to see it by product category, and I want to remove this. Right, so instead of sum now, what I want to say is that I want to see the number of opportunities per product category. So in order to get the distinct number of opportunities, I need to use the opportunity ID. And as I said before, you cannot apply aggregated functions on varchar columns apart from count, because I can actually count how many opportunities I have in each product category. So what I want to say here is I want to say count, how it does, and I want to say here opportunity ID. And this is going to be as NO of opportunities. So the name of the new column is going to be NO of opportunities. So this is the number of opportunities. And I want to group the data by product category, which is correct. So if I run this now, opportunity ID, so count opportunity ID as NO opportunity from data group by what is, oh, the error. What is my error? Opportunity ID product. Oh, I'm missing a comma. Sorry guys, sorry. Yeah, right. So if I click execute now, I see the number of opportunities per product category, and then I want to order it now. So order by count. So I want to see, actually want to see the product category that has the most opportunities. So if I run this now, I see that we have 1,594 opportunities that the product category is project. So we can see that the highest we have, the most opportunities we have is around projects and services. Cool. So this is example 4. Example 5 now is going to be the mean. So the mean is very similar to the sum and the max. So I'm just going to copy the first example, paste it down here. This is example 5, and this is the mean. So all I want to do now is I want to see the mean. Goodbye, let go. So I want to see the minimum opportunity value per product category. So all I need to do is change the max to mean. And instead of sum here, say mean. And if I run this now, I'm going to see the minimum distinct opportunity value we have per product category. So what I can see here, I have a lot of negative values. That's why maybe it's good to use mean. Excuse me. So the same way we use mean, we can use max again. Very easy to use mean and max. No, yeah. Max, changes to max, instead of mean, say max. Right, so if I run this now, I can see that the project is the one that has the highest, the maximum opportunity value. So the highest opportunity value I have, even from the whole database, is this opportunity here that is valued as $1 million. Let's say if it's dollars. And if I want to find this opportunity, what I can say is that I can say select all from our table, table where the opportunity, the estimated opportunity value equals 1 million. Then if I run this, I found this opportunity now. It's on stage 3 and it's in project, which is project that we have here. Right, so I've shown you how to do all the main aggregated functions now in SQL. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Or if there is something I haven't explained very well, or if there is something you want me to explain in the next video, please let me know in the comments below so I can get on it. Again, please click that like and subscribe button if you haven't done already. It's going to help me a lot and I'm going to appreciate it very much so I can keep doing these videos. Thank you very much for watching. In the next video, very quickly, I'm going to be covering all the joins. So I've done part 1, I've done part 2. The next video is going to be about joins. So make sure you enable notifications so you can see when I'm going to upload the next video. Thank you very much for watching.